Americans live with the consequences of a failing infrastructure every day. When we get in traffic jams on our way to work, when we get stuck at the airport because our flights are delayed, or when mass transit options are too few. But what if all that could change? How would our lives be different?
If I could travel from DC to New York in an hour and a half, that would be amazing, and it would also change the way that I travel to that area. I would be able to catch shows, see concerts, go shopping, or see friends in the same day.
It'd be great to be able to go on a trip without dealing with all the hassle of the airports and lines and security. I know I've missed multiple flights in my life just because of all the lines and having to get there 3 hours early and still missing my flight.
It's really kind of sad that our public transit system is so decrepit and under-maintained.
The United States used to be the undisputed world leader in transportation innovation. Today, we rank 24th, behind countries like China, France, and Singapore.
As you travel around the world, it's easy to imagine what America could be like if we had a world-class infrastructure. People would travel through airports very quickly. They'd go on high-speed rail from one location to another.
Imagine this, an hour from New York City to Washington, D.C. 1 hour. Not sitting in traffic trying to get to the airport, not waiting on the tarmac to try to get your plane to take off or land. 1 hour, that's possible. The technology exists today to do that.
While Americans are wasting time, money, and fuel stuck in traffic, nations around the world are investing in cutting-edge infrastructure to make their transportation networks more efficient, more sustainable, and more competitive than ours.
In Japan, they go 310 miles an hour. In America, we go 80 miles an hour. Right now, the Acela makes it from Philadelphia to New York in an hour and 10 minutes. It's good, but it's not going to change anybody's life decisions. The Japanese maglev technology would make it from Philadelphia to New York in 24 minutes. If you could go from Philadelphia to New York in 24 minutes, and you can get the exact same house in Philadelphia for 45% of what it costs in New York, and you're a young couple starting out, you're going to live in Philadelphia.
Let's imagine, for example, that we replace JFK Airport, the airport that exists today, with, say, Singapore's airport. What would that be like? When our plane got there, it could land. When it was ready to leave, it could take off immediately. We wouldn't be backed up because of congestion.
We hear time and time again of international visitors coming to our country, and they are very surprised that we don't have a seamless transportation system, how difficult it is to get around the United States.
Our lack of vision, accountability, and federal leadership has left virtually every mode of transportation, highways and railroads, airports and seaports, stuck in the last century and ill-equipped for the demands of today's global economy.
When you look at the competitive landscape and what is being built in other countries to get people through the country, especially from their gateway airports using rail and road, we as a nation are sadly not competitive.
Our forefathers did such a great job building a dynamic system, both when it made sense for cross-country rail travel to certainly in the 20th century building out the best inner-city roadway network in the world.
And it opened up opportunities all across the country.
Jack Kennedy made what I think is his best speech. He said, we do these things not because they are easy, we do them because they are hard. And we've got to go back to doing hard things that are important and vital to our country's future.
Our infrastructure and the bipartisan leadership that built it helped our economy become the most successful the world has ever known. But this leadership has vanished, and our infrastructure shows it.
So why haven't we today invested the way we did in the past? Well, in my opinion, we've taken our eye off the ball a little bit. Members of Congress and the President have not necessarily put the priority that they needed to on investing in our nation's transportation system.
There are people in the Congress who really don't want any spending done. And the problem with that is that they can't distinguish between spending that's an investment and spending that's a consumption.
We've got bottlenecks, we've got congestion, and it doesn't matter if you're on a plane or you're on the highway or you're on a transit system. It's like this big Gordian knot that needs to be untied.
We are not keeping pace with the cost of building the needs of today's and tomorrow's transportation system.
It is time to embark on a new American adventure, one requiring leadership and vision from our elected leaders. Unless we seize this opportunity and rebuild our transportation infrastructure, we'll lose our best opportunity to restore America's economic strength and vitality for generations to come.
We're no longer world class, I'm seeing a system right now that is full of hassle, full of delays, and not keeping up with the world.
And the thing of it is that if we don't solve this problem, the competition is going to go past us, and our competitive advantage as being the #1 economy in the world is going to go by the wayside.
Making sure that we connect the world is key. You can't grow in the global economy if you're not connected to it.
Let's get beyond the rhetoric, let's get beyond the ideology, let's get beyond the partisanship. Let's go.